I'll be talking purely just from a feature perspective. So since the previous call in February, what have we shipped? We shipped quite a few things. We shipped a Kotlin multi-platform SDK. We shipped support for Flutter Web. We shipped a Swift native SDK. Christian showed us his Vue package. We shipped a Keasley support as a JavaScript ORM. We shipped Drift support as a Dart ORM. And we also shipped subscription plans. So you can see our topology is expanding. That's literally in the name. And we kind of use this status map to see like where what the status is of all the various things. So our Flutter and React Native SDKs are stable. JS Web is in beta. We're working on just improving some performance things to get that into stable. The others are here in alpha, and we're working on getting all of these to stable pretty much. Our CLI is now in an open beta. We're piloting billing, and I'll be chatting about self-hosting in a bit. Subscription plans, that is a big deal for us. This will be a work in progress for some time, but customers can actually sign up to subscriptions now, and we do have customers who are signed up, and that's running along smoothly. And we'll be working on this for quite some time. Being able to configure the subscription yourself. Currently, we have to set it up for you. Implementing, limits on overages, budgets, like all that good stuff. So we will be working on this going forward, but it is actually available, and we do have, like I mentioned, some customers subscribed. Okay, next up, I'll be talking about kind of what we're working on at the moment. The big thing that we're working on is self-hosting, and we really look forward to announcing this to everyone. We're currently running a closed alpha of our self-hosted offering, and I thought I'd give you actually a quick demo of what that looks like. So we do have a demo app that you can clone, and all of this is basically a demo Docker configuration, and it ships with Postgres instance, a MongoDB where the sync buckets are stored, and then a demo backend. So you set up some environment variables, connection strings, stuff like that, and then you really just spin it up. All right. So what I actually have now is I have a local Postgres environment, and I'm connected using Postico here. And I can see my lists table in my Postgres database running on in Docker. And then I also get a web app, which is like a demo app. And so I can create some demo data, and you can see that appear immediately in my Postgres. We can have multiple tabs. Multiple tab support's really good. And then you can see all of that data in Postgres. So, I mean, I could open up a Chrome session. And so what this gives you is it gives you a really nice environment to just get a feel for the system. And I'm glad the demo gods are smiling at me today. Because of how we've built stuff with a shared web worker, it's kind of hard to demo offline, but all of this does work offline out the box as well. All right. So that's self-hosting. We are going to have two flavors of self-hosting. There will be an open edition, which comes with a very permissive, like open source aligned software license. And then we're also working on an enterprise edition, which will have larger features on, features that larger customers care about. More advanced user metrics, scalability, custom write checkpoints, just challenges that we see from speaking to larger enterprises. The other thing that we're working on is an additional backend adapter. So yeah, our vision for PowerSync is that it really is agnostic in terms of the backend storage layer. And last week we started working on a feasibility POC of MySQL. And Roland on our team will actually be starting on a POC of Microsoft SQL as well shortly. So yeah, super excited about that. My guess is kind of at this point, assuming that everything goes well with the MySQL POC, the connector could be shipped, let's say, in early Q3. The other thing we're working on developer experience side is a diagnostics app. This thing is great, and I'm going to show it to you as well. It's currently on our JavaScript repo on the diagnostics app branch. In the demos folder, there's a diagnostics app. Yeah, we're going to release it soon, but you can use it already today. And yeah, you fire the thing up. So pretty much this app, if you're running into any issues whatsoever, use this app. Like, this thing is really great. So yeah. See, yeah. So this is the first thing that you see. It's just asking you for a token, an auth token. So I actually have a PowerSync environment set up here, connected to our roadmap Superbase environment. And you can right click on your instance and generate a developer token. It asks for user ID, but in this case, it doesn't matter. And then just because of how I've got things set up, you paste that in, and you can see it pulls the endpoint out of that JWT, and then you can log in. So I'm seeing a couple things here. Firstly, my sync rules that I've configured are pretty much just global sync rules, selecting from categories shipped and shipping, but excluding status map and the future. And if we head back to diagnostics app, you can actually see that these are the tables being synced to the client. You can see there's a global bucket, which corresponds to just a single sync rule definition. You can see the size of the rows. Yeah, this just gives you everything you want to see. So like, for example, if in the app that you're building, you're not seeing some data, you can actually troubleshoot your sync rules here, because obviously only the table definitions and the sync rules are going to sync down to the client. So all of this is just coming from the SQLite database. It comes with a SQL console as well. So this is useful just to be able to run SQL kind of in the browser for debugging. Yeah, try out your queries. Yeah, there's one known issue at the moment, which is if you log in with an invalid like JWT. Okay, let's just go and get that. Okay, but maybe if we, there we go. It will actually like log you in. So open up the DevTools and look at the console. So those errors are just kind of going to the console at the moment. This tool is so useful. We're just going to ship it with that known issue at this point. Okay, yeah, that's the diagnostics app. The other thing we're working on is adding support for WebSockets. So today, all the AST clients use HTTP streams to connect to the PowerSync service and to enable that real-time streaming of data changes. And that works well for the most part. However, we ran into issues with React Native in particular, where we kind of discovered that it doesn't really have great support for streams. So for that, and a couple of other reasons, we're working on adding WebSockets as a supported transport for the entire stack. And we're going to get started with React Native. So the benefit kind of for end users is primarily on Android, where there's some hoops you got to jump through, like disabling Flipper, and that'll no longer be a requirement to use the SDK. And it also means that debugging tools such as Reactotron will work as well. From an API perspective for developers, not much is going to change, other than you're just going to inject a small config flag to configure the SDK and tell it to either use streams or WebSockets, but nothing else is going to change. Lastly, on developer experience, we're working on version 2 of our React hooks. So Christian briefly touched on this, and he mentioned that, yeah, our version 2 will basically let developers either, they can choose with our hooks to use Kisly queries or SQL statements as arguments. That's the one cool thing. The other nice thing is that it'll also expose more state to the developer. It's kind of similar to React query, where you get like data and error handles, and or RTK query works like that too. And Dom on our team is currently working on that. In terms of what's coming up, like around the corner, so expanding the capabilities of our enterprise self-hosted edition. Like I mentioned, Roland is also going to get started on a Microsoft SQL Server adapter. We want to support Capacitor and Tauri and Electron, and do a little investigation into Tauri Mobile. We're going to work on continuously improving debugging tools and kind of observability tools. And then there's a little base64 Easter egg here, which is kind of like something that I'm biting my tongue on, but we're going to be announcing something pretty exciting soon that Mugi's and Ralph have been quite involved in. So I just wanted to tease that a bit. But that is pretty much, I don't know if I'd call it a roadmap. It's more like a continuous prioritization. But that's what the team are working on.